What's up, guys? It's Wolverine. That's Machine Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Hill Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Hey guys, this is Thunder Rosa and welcome to True Hill Heat.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
What's up, True Hill Heat? True Hill Heat.
What's up?
True Hill Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our Dark Side of the Ring Season 6, Episode 9, The Scream Queen, Daffney review, discussing Episode 9 of Season 6 of Dark Side of the Ring as only we can. And to do that, of course, I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the princess of all the true heels, Miss Krssi Love. How are you feeling?
What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday. It's the last Friday of the month. Damn, June is here. Shit. What's going on, man?
Feel like May was here and then was gone. It was very, even
your
those
birthday
31
came
days, it was
fast.
very
Yeah.
fast, you know?
Too fast, man. Too fast. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't recall it being like this when we were kids.
Yeah. Life does move faster once you're an adult. And it always went slow when I was in school and I had to deal with school all the time. Like, God damn it, what's going on here?
And then we'd have the summer, and then the summer went by too fast. We were back at school, and it was just like, what is happening? I don't like it. It's not fun. This adult thing is just, it's adult thing. I don't know. They didn't tell us about this. They didn't give us this part of the course. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But happy Friday, peeps. I hope everyone is doing well. It's not raining over here today yet.
That's good.
But,
That's good. I'm hearing that buzzing thing again. I told her before we went live. I think it's Krssi. I don't know if it's your mic or your headphones or something, but I don't know. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live.
Just took them off. Let me know if you still hear it.
No, I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, so maybe it was my headphones then. I don't know.
There we go. See? I knew there was something. We tried to fix it beforehand, but we wanted to start on time. He said
he heard something. I didn't hear anything, but whatever.
We're really not used to starting on time for anything, so we actually wanted to start on time today. So
it's always something, but it's all good.
Always something. It's always something. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. We get a lot of people who watch our Dark Side of the Ring reviews on demand, which we like because that gives us the opportunity to do, focus on other things going on in the wrestling world and then come back to it. We're on catch-up mode because episode 10 dropped this week. So maybe I'll have to see what Krissi's schedule is looking like this weekend. We can get that done this week and be, finito on the Dark Side of the Ring season 6. But we appreciate all the support that we've gotten so far for season 6. And spoiler alert, this is probably the most emotional episode of the entire season. Oh my
God. This reminded me of the Bruce Brody one. This was really sad.
This was really sad.
I don't think we've had a sad one in a while. Like, at least, we kind of knew, the Owen Hart one. We knew the Chris Benoit one. We knew the Eddie Guerrero. We knew those would be sad. But this one?
I knew it would be sad because I do remember everything that went on in 2021 with the Instagram Live, and a lot of people thought it was like a ploy or they were gonna be there in time to help her and all that. I remember that, so I expected this to be sad, but god damn, hearing about it from people that were close to her, that just brought me back, and I was just like, it really hit me in a way that
talk about it on our show back in 2021. I remember us being still locked down, but I don't know,
I think we did mention it, but we didn't go in depth how this did. So yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, we're gonna talk all about it, but yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Drop the thumbs up if you appreciate us for these Dark Side of the Ring reviews. Of course, you can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. Share this video. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. We have reviews of every season, every episode of Dark Side of the Ring here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. And of course, if you're with us live, you can sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts, your emotions of this episode of Dark Side of the Ring season 6, episode 9, the Scream Queen Daffney. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to our Dark Side of the Ring reviews, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Greg Carter the second in the chat with us, who says things were certainly dark. Yeah, this is definitely Dark Side of the Ring. Some of these episodes we were like, I don't know, this was a Dark Side of the Ring topic. Some episode we were like, it wasn't too much darkness here. This was definitely Dark Side of the Ring.
Yep. Definitely from the moment it started to the end, to the last take. Yeah.
We also got Wrestling God in the chat. Gang, thanks for joining us. He says, hey guys, hey to you as well. But yes, we're going to get right into it. What was kind of, before we do that, of course, how we always do these Dark Side of the Ring reviews, what did you know about Daffney? Did you ever see her work, whether it be WCW, TNA, the independent scene, Shimmer? Have you ever seen her before? And what was kind of your kind of knowledge of Daffney going into this episode?
Vaguely remember her, but do remember her from being on WCW. I always tell you guys I missed that TNA run of when TNA was hot and when they had all those things. I would see it on TV, but I really didn't pay it no mind. I just thought it was very unique that they had a different shaped ring. And so I missed most of that part of the wrestling stuff. But I do remember vaguely seeing her in WCW for a short period of time.
Well, as you guys probably know, if you've seen any of my content, I'm a big old Mark, and I watched everything when I was a kid. So I was very much into WCW. When Daffney was introduced, I still remember the first, what was it, a Nitro Party video that she sent in, where she was like the biggest David Flair fan, and then introducing her character, and then the relationship with her and David Flair, the stable with Crowbar and David Flair and her, and I agree with what Crowbar said in this episode. She is the one that everybody remembers from that group. She was the star of that group, the breakout star. I remember her rivalry with Miss Hancock when they were kind of basically feuding over David Flair. I remember her run in WCW very vividly. The TNA stuff, I do remember her with the Dr. Stevie, and Dr. Stevie making her realize that she wasn't the governor anymore and that she was the Scream Queen, Daphne.
I
And
thought that
then
was funny.
that whole storyline with Dr. Stevie and Abyss and Mick Foley, I remember that very vividly as well. And I do also remember very vividly her the chokeslam by Abyss that kind of ended her career. I remember that as well. I wasn't too familiar, I wasn't too into kind of Shimmer during her time there on the independent scene. I did pop at hearing Dave Prazak's voice, because Dave Prazak is a big commentator for the golden age of Ring of Honor that I watch, but I always heard of Shimmer from watching Ring of Honor, and they used to talk about that a lot. So I know a lot of the people that she was able to work with. I saw on Twitter today when I was getting pictures and doing further research on this episode, Bailey was around in Shimmer when Daphne was there as well. I think Dakota Kai was another one who was in Shimmer during the time that she was there. So she got to work with a lot of the ladies that you might know of a little bit better from WWE before they got to WWE. Their time in Shimmer, Daphne was one of the people that really was a person that brought a lot of those ladies together. So she's a very important figure in women's wrestling for sure.
That's what a few of the ladies said in the in their comments on during the show. There's like, she's responsible for like what these women, like what some of these women are doing right now.
She was a big advocate for women's wrestling, so definitely gotta show love in that way. We got a couple of more comments. The feature here, we got Frantic World in the chat. Good to see you. He says, this episode was very sad to watch. Rest in peace to Daphne. Most definitely, rest in peace, Daphne. Thoughts and condolences still to the family and friends and fans of Daphne. Even though it's been 4 years, it's never enough time when you lose someone that you're close to. We also got Wrestling God, who says, I just want to point out that I didn't know who she was at first. I first watched wrestling around in 2008, but then I watched some clips on the network in WCW and I got to know her gimmick. She was pretty good. Yes, she was a great character. The character, like a lot of people said during this episode, the character was very much her kind of turned up to 10, which is the best wrestling characters. You always hear that. It's just an extension of their actual personality kind of turned up to 10, and that's what made Daphne a standout character in WCW, TNA, and around the indies.
When she started screaming, that's when I remember who she was.
She was like, I know that scream. I know that scream. The Scream Queen, indeed. Great Carter II says, 9-year-old me definitely had a crush on Daphne. That's when Great Carter was like, I actually like these goth girls.
She had a scream like that was more piercing than like Sensational Sherry. So you remember when she would scream? So like I think she kind of like mimic or gimmick that type of like, I'm gonna be more obnoxious and like scream at the top of my lungs. It'd be crazy.
Yes. Frightening, the frightening scream. Like I'm a little scared. I'm just a little bit scared. But yes, a lot of family and friends on this episode. So let's get to it. They did put a disclaimer on this episode right before, saying that content about suicide and suicide ideation, viewer discretion is advised. Chris Jericho, of course, is once again the narrator for the show, and the teaser before the crowd is already very tough to watch. And right into it, where they have old shoot interview footage of Shannon Sproul, aka Daffney, from 2001, following her run in WCW. She wanted to be an actress, and an agent asked her if she wanted to audition for a 4-week run as David Flair's stalker. The only he was told to act crazy, and she crushed it. So she became a regular in WCW. We meet Daphne's brother, Darren Sproul. She says that Shannon was allowed to do what she wanted with the character. We also have one of my old school favorites from the last run of WCW. Crowbar says Daphne stood out because of her goth look and how all of the other women were Barbie dolls at the time. He says that they were put in a team and it clicked instantly, and he thinks that the crazy he thinks crazy characters were the most fun, and the two of them and David Flair were crazy. That's for sure. Yeah, I remember this was one of like the rare gems of late day WCW.
Yeah.
Like 2 years of WCW, 1999 through 2001. There wasn't a lot of like great stuff, but great memorable stuff. Like one of those were the trio of David Flair, Crowbar, and Daffney for me, for sure.
Nice. Crowbar, who is a very nice person, but also, by the way, if you meet him.
Oh, you've met him before?
I've met him before, yes, at a New Japan show with the kids.
Very nice, very nice. The talk about the scream, and her brother notes that she had that scream forever. They grew up as military brats, and it made them close due to moving so much. Daphne played soccer and was a goalie who broke all of her fingers diving at people's feet. Then we meet Quentin Sproul, who is the father of Daphne, and he seems very proud of his daughter, as he should. He notes that she was a straight-A student and beautiful. She had it all. She was in 3 major movies before the age of 10. I did not know that. I was like, oh, word?
Right.
That's crazy. We see footage from 2 of her movies, Santa Claus in 1985 and Insignificance in 1985 as well. We get back to her WCW days, and her dad laughs that he wasn't pleased, but he just went with it. Crowbar mentions Daphne had a gymnastics background, and they showed her some moves that were safe but look cool. We also hear from one of her friends who says she's Shannon's best friend, Lexi File, who says Daphne didn't want to look too technical. So she wanted to be a crazy person that could just do wrestling. We see highlights of the wedding with her, where her and Miss Hancock had a cake fight. WCW folds though in 2001, and the company is sold to Vince McMahon, who is always the villain in all of these shows for good reason. Usually good reason. She wanted to wrestle and was talking to WWF, and all she got was a 9-month developmental deal. We see footage of her in OVW, and she was going through a divorce at the same time and started to take antidepressants. They note that they sent her into a spiral. Shannon says in a shoot interview, she had through a 3-month period where she couldn't sleep for more than an hour at a time, and she developed a stutter. She called her dad, who was her rock, and told him something was wrong. Her dad said that is when she first started thinking things would be better if she wasn't around to put up with it. That is when she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Another one of her wrestling best friends was Amanda Rodriguez. She's here, and she also suffers from bipolar disorder. She says that it is terrifying. There are drugs you can take, but the side effects are horrible. It can become depressive mania, and if you don't take your meds and get outside help, it gets even worse. Her brother tells the story of getting her to the hospital, but she was there for a few weeks. She hates that she put her family through that. Her father notes that you need to make sure your children know they are loved. They prayed through it, and Daphne was sure she needed to get back in the ring, and they couldn't talk her out of it. I mean, this was really like kind of set the tone for what all the things that we would find out kind of
Yeah.
later in this episode right here. But what was your thoughts on kind of just her going through in this the loss of kind of her dream job, something that she kind of fell into, that she was just given by an agent, but really developed this love for in professional wrestling, and is taken away from her with WCW folding and not getting that opportunity in WWF that she really probably could have made the most of, but not getting that opportunity, and then it leads to her being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. What did you think about the first half?
They had a Nikki Cross and they never even used him. You know what I'm saying? Because they, you know, like she was there. You put her in OVW and you let her go 9 months later. So that's like crushing on someone. And then they're already like bipolar. So of course they're thinking I'm not good enough. They're always in their head. They was thinking about like the old, you know, other things that, you know, that will probably not make them happy. So it definitely probably did take a toll and add to, you know, the things that she was already probably thinking.
Yeah, it's tough on anybody, especially when you have bipolar disorder and you're not diagnosed yet, and it takes like you kind of going through a set of mania and going through those problems and those thoughts in your head until you finally go to the hospital and get that diagnosis, and then you're able to kind of treat it in the right way. But before that, all that kind of trauma and losing your dream job, that can take a toll on you and make it even worse. That's true.
Absolutely.
And Gray Carter specifies, he says, found out I liked crazy girls, laughing emoji. I mean,
okay, so you like the toxicity of craziness. Okay, got it.
It's not always toxic. It's not always toxic. There's some good crazy out there, you know.
Okay.
I'm not here to judge.
Not judging at all. Nope. I'm listening and I'm not judging. I'm just saying you just
I am defending the crazy out here. You know, we all got a little crazy
love.
in her.
They all need a little love, right?
Exactly. All need just a little love. Shannon goes to the indie route in 2003, and her family felt she was doing better and in better control of her medicine. She was no longer sitting at home with nothing to do. They discussed the difference with indie wrestling, and we saw footage of her in Shimmer, and I was able to get this photo of her stomping on the head of young Bailey.
Oh my God, is that who that was? I think they showed that in the episode, I think.
Yeah, they Bailey shared this photo on social media, so I had to share it here.
I love that.
We meet Chantel, who is another one of Daphne's best friends, but you might know her as former TNA Knockouts World Champion Taylor Wilde. I was a big fan of Taylor Wilde back in the day. Taylor Wilde was one of my Knockouts favorite. Yeah, because they did. Taylor Wilde was introduced in TNA as basically a fan, because they came right after the legendary rivalry between Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. And Awesome Khan was the dominant Knockouts world champion. So she was challenging anybody, and a fan comes out of the crowd and faces her, and that fan would wind up being Taylor Wilde, and Taylor Wilde pulls off the upset win over Awesome Khan, and then went on a really good feud with Awesome Khan from there. She was like one of the first like kind of like homegrown stars in the TNA Knockouts division, someone that was introduced as like brand new. I know she had, you know, previous experience in wrestling, but as far as like Gail Kim was someone I knew from like WWE before she got to TNA. Awesome Khan is someone that I knew had the background in being in Japan. I did not know of Taylor Wilde, so for me she was like the first real homegrown star of that Knockouts division, so I've always been a fan of hers.
Okay, nice.
Yes. Great Carter just laughing in the chat. Yes. Chantel, aka Taylor Wilde, is up next and says that Daffney didn't care if there were 5 people or 5,000 in the crowd. She was giving it her all. She tells us about Shimmer and how it changed the future of women's wrestling and where it was heading and where it is today. Caleb Conley is next, a 20-year pro in wrestling, and he dated Daffney for 4 years. They met when he was 20 years old, and a relationship quickly blossomed. He noted that Shannon opened a lot of doors for him and allowed him to meet people that he never would have met otherwise. He calls her amazing, but the bipolar thing was front and center their entire relationship. She was quick to lose her temper and had mood changes, but needed someone she could trust. He admits that he was a dumb kid that thought that he knew what he was doing, but he didn't. The bipolar issue affected her personal life and not her wrestling career, as she was able to get a shot at TNA, who was given their woman more of a chance to actually wrestle versus what WWE was doing at the time. Shannon was brought in as the governor, which was a parody of Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. I when I heard that name, I was like, oh my God, all these memories came flashing back to me. I remember Sarah Palin.
That's so interesting. I missed that whole thing, and I wish I was available to see it, but it was good to like cap. I'm gonna have to probably do like what you do is like true rewind and just like see and find them and watch old episodes if I can.
We might need to get like a True Heel Heat account on TNA Plus and do true rewind of watching TNA.
Got it. Yeah, I'll be down for that.
That's what we need to do.
I'll be down for that. I missed that whole era of all those things, so I'm sure I've seen a lot of like clips online, but I'm sure if we did that, I can like feel like I lived through it. If that makes sense.
She was committed to the role and looked nothing like Daffney. I remember at the time that a lot of people did not know that the governor was Daffney. Like it was a shock when everybody realized that was Daffney.
She definitely didn't look like Sarah Palin. She looked like a governor.
She did not look like Sarah Palin. That's for sure.
That's why they just called her the governor. But okay.
Goku says, "What's up, True Heel?" He says bipolar disorder can be difficult to deal with. That is for sure. And he also states one of the main problems with TNA was the pay for women being non-existent. Yeah. That was an issue. It was an issue. It was an issue for a long time across the board, even in WWE. You were paid more than you were paid in TNA for sure, but it was still less than the men. So that was an issue. But then we get the whole story of how the governor was committed, and Dr. Stevie brought her back as the Scream Queen, Daffney. Then we hear from one of our favorites, especially on this season of Dark Side of the Ring, Mick Foley. He is here, and he mentions that he joined TNA and loved Daffney. He considers her a friend, and he wanted her on his team when he was in TNA, as he was a big fan of her work. Taylor notes that Daffney was up for anything, and to a fault was ready to be whatever wrestling needed her to be. Mick says that he didn't know their matchup they would be in together would be the beginning of the end for her. Daunting words as we head to our second commercial here. Back to TNA, where Mick Foley and Abyss were booked in a Monsters Ball match. Daffney was part of Mick's team, and they had a spot planned where she would get knocked off the rope and sent through a barbed wire table. We get two accounts where one says Daffney wasn't sure she wanted to do it, and Mick notes that she wanted to do it, but says that there is not much room for error. Mick says he wishes they had made a different call. We see the spot and the table breaks, but Daffney cracks the back of her head on the floor. It was as safe as they could possibly make it, and they note the wrestlers in the match weren't at fault, but she was severely hurt. Mick notes that she broke her arm and had no memory of what happened or where she was. We see footage of her being on the stretcher with Mick standing by her side and then riding to the hospital with her. To this day, he says, "I feel terrible about it." What do you think about that spot? Was there any way they could have prevented this? I think it was an accident, but that's basically wrestling. That's wrestling.
I want to say, as much as you try to be cautious and everything like that, this is why they're accidents. And as many times you go through the spot and know where you're supposed to be at in your queue, just certain things happen, and unfortunately she landed on it. But I think once she was thrown down, I think it was like, oh, that was really it. Like if she once she lands, like let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think like the girl said, I think it's nobody's fault. I think it's just like something that just just a freak accident, and it she just landed and hit her head really, really hard.
And this happens a lot, especially with choke
Yeah.
slams through tables, because that
Yeah.
recently just happened with Drew McIntyre at Backlash when Damian Priest put him through the 2 tables in the 4-way matchup. So it seems to happen, especially with that move in particular. To answer this question from Goku, it says, did Daffney date CM Punk? Yes, she is a part of the CM Punk roster.
Oh my. Okay.
CM Punk got the starting. He got the starting lineup. He got one of the best basketball teams in wrestling history.
Well,
Daffney, Daffney, Lita, Mickie James, Beth Phoenix. Yeah, you did not know this? CM Punk got the Riz. He's the Rizzler. He's the Rizzler out here.
SP, I
got
don't know.
all of them. He got a lit. Maria Kanellis during his OVW days. Yeah. And then eventually he gets married to AJ Lee.
Oh my God. What? How is this a thing? Like, what have
He was the Tommy Lee Jones of professional wrestling.
Oh my God, what?
Or Tommy Lee. No, not Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee.
Pamela
Lee.
Anderson. Pamela Anderson's ex-boo, her baby daddy.
Yeah. Tommy Lee of this generation. Except without
That's interesting. Remember that time, especially like when he was like really, really popular. I had checked out of wrestling at that time. I think it's like 2003, 2004-ish to like 2013. It was like very foggy. So it was yes, I missed some good stuff.
I agree with Goku. Yes, CM Punk got them Wilt Chamberlain numbers out here as far as that's a starting 5 and a 6-man right there.
What? Like, oh my God!
He got the starting 5 and the 6-man. He's doing really well out here in these streets. And yes, Power Driver. There was another Sailor Palin lookalike, but on another niche audience. Yes, Nailing Palin, Lisa Ann. Yes, Lisa Ann, the legend. Yes, Lisa Ann, the legend. You could check it out and Google it with your husband by your side, Krssi, later.
Oh my
God. And let your husband know I said you welcome. But Wrestling God says, I remember the time that I watched the match where she got through the barbed wire table, and I always thought that was brutal. I knew that she got hurt, but I didn't know she was that hurt. I felt bad for her. Yeah.
And then they said she hurt her head and she broke her arm.
Ugh. Horrible. That was like the beginning of the end of her career.
Yep. And then they showed her like in the back. I don't know if that was like, no, I think it was like a reenactment. Like it was like her arm was like they trying to like fix it, and she's like screaming, and it's just like, oh my God, this is so sad. Like, no, turn it off.
Goku says, I believe the story was Mick Foley told Daffney that this spot would be an equivalent to falling off the cage. God damn. Yeah. I mean, Mick was lucky. Fortunately, not everybody can be as lucky as Mick.
Yep. He got more body fat on him. That's why.
Did not even think about that one. Power Driver finisher. He's like, I mean, you look at the Ray Phoenix spot and his arm bent a weird way. No one's fault, really. And once again, choke slam through a table. No one should do a choke slam through a table anymore. It just causes real big problems. Like Drew McIntyre landed on the back of his head. It ends Daffney's career. It broke Ray Phoenix's arm. Like, we need to ban choke slams through tables.
Oh my God, I can't. Ugh.
And yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, Power Driver. Don't do that. Don't add Roxy to
Oh my God! Why would you
CM
do
Punk's
that, Power
roster.
Driver?
Don't do that. Don't do that,
You
Skip.
get messy. That's
Don't do
messy.
that, Skip. That's messy. That's messy. Louisville says
rumors out
numbers
here for no reason, for likes, shares, and shit.
Numbers on the board, and Goku says CM Punk walked so that Dominic Mysterio can run.
Okay, Goku, that's
and Dominic is just a character. It's just a character. We talking about CM Punk for real, for real. I'm trying to think who else had the roster like that. I don't know who else. I mean, Lita got a pretty good roster herself.
Ooh.
Punk, Edge, Matt Hardy. So that's pretty good.
I want to say, don't Paige got a significant roster too?
Well, I mean, if we're not counting boyfriends, if we're just counting everybody that I don't know how to say this, that she's been with, you would go Berto Del Rio, even though that's kind of a zero, Brad Maddox, which is another zero, Xavier Woods. I mean, those are the ones I know of.
Wasn't it like two more guys? I could be wrong, but
maybe, yeah, it's just Xavier Woods. That's the only one that's worth noting. Like Alberto and Brad Maddox ain't the kind of flexes that I think anybody would want out here. And look at y'all being messy in the chat. Y'all being messy. Louisville out here saying Steph got main eventers. Macho Man Randy Savage is a rumor, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been really bad for Macho Man if that is true. She was a teenager when he was in WWE. A teenager.
Yo, the way oh my God.
We should have never broached. We should have never broached this subject. This is a serious episode that we're reviewing here. Y'all want to talk all this stuff. This is why we go down the rabbit hole. This is why we can't go through the chat sometimes, man. We gotta talk about serious. All right. I love y'all, but damn. Of course, though, after the injury, she returns only a few months later because she's about that life, Daffney. Even though a doctor had told her to never wrestle again, Taylor Wilde mentions that there is no room to be injured as a wrestler, as someone is always younger and better looking to take your spot. Thankfully, that way of thinking is changing in today's wrestling world, so we can only pray on it and continue down that path. She is back to the ring and works a matchup with Rosie Lotlove, which is Sage Beckett, who was in NXT previously. And she gave Daffney a modified version of the Earthquake Splash and sat right on her sternum. That caused a bruised sternum and another concussion and a stinger, as well as she admits she didn't just sit still to take the move. In one of those shoot interviews that they had here, there was a lawsuit filed as TNA wasn't doing follow-up care and taking care of her medical bills. She filed a lawsuit noting wrestlers were not independent contractors and felt since she was hurt in their ring, they could pay her bills. They reached a crazy settlement where TNA gave her 1,000 of her action figures to be able to sell on the side, according to Caleb Conley. Concussion protocols weren't in place back then, and they have changed for the better since then, which she was a big part of that with this lawsuit. They talk about the bump card and how you only have so many before you can't take any more. And we see Shannon talking on her vlog, talking about how she sees hope for the first time. Caleb thinks that the concussions changed something in her. Amanda notes that concussions amplify bipolar disorder. And Shannon notes that that people don't realize how bad she has been hurt, and she cries. I don't think I will be able to wrestle anymore. This is when it really started getting like really sad in this episode. It was really going down at this point. What do you think about her rushing back into the ring after the injury and then getting the bruised sternum and another concussion, and that's pretty much the end for her?
I wish she would have just taken it easy and just rested. you have concussion, so you just have to like just let them just ride them out till you're ready and think that your head is in the right space. But yeah, I wish she would have just taken things a little bit easier. But again, knowing that she was already dealing with her bipolarness, I think this was the only like outlet that just like made her feel like regular, like a good, like everything was going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, you live and you learn these things. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yes, Kelly is also on CM Punk's roster. I knew I forgot somebody. I was like, it's even more than what I'm mentioning here. There was someone else missing. That was Kelly. And yes, Kelly got a roster of her own because she was also with Randy Orton, and the rumor is John Cena as well. So.
Well, if we're talking about people with rosters, I would believe that Stacy Keibler has a roster as well.
That's true too. Melina got a roster. There's a few, but yeah.
There's a couple.
We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
We're not shaming anyone. This is what you do. You're on the road. Yeah. Like, hey, just saying that we know you and we see you, and this is what you have done.
We acknowledge your roster. 2011, the injuries have taken a toll on Daffney, and her family puts their foot down and tells her it is time to retire. She agrees, but needed to figure out what was next to make money. She had a strong fan base and would do signings and appearances and worked with Shine in Florida. She also wanted to speak about her bipolar disorder. Amanda says that they bonded and got their bipolar tattoos along with 2 other female wrestlers that were suffering. She tried to fill in as a special guest referee, but even getting down to count caused some vertigo for her.
Oh, and that's not an easy thing to sustain. My husband has vertigo, and it's not an easy thing. Like any little thing can like trigger it right away.
Yeah, my missus has vertigo, so yeah, she talks about it all the time. Like I have to give her like daily massages to to like kind of soothe her to go to sleep at night. Sometimes
it could like make you, it could distract you from anything. Like your mind is just like offering you just feel that dizziness that just comes in like anywhere, and you just have to like stop and just kind of like, whoa, they can lose their balance and everything. It's just like it really sucks.
It does. She tried to do that for a while, but then she told her family she wanted her brain donated to be studied after her death. Mick says loving wrestling was like losing the love. Losing wrestling is like losing the love of your life. Shannon says that on her vlog that she wishes being in the ring. She misses being in the ring, and the business is where her heart is. Crowbar notes that she was like many wrestlers that didn't know how to become a regular person when their time is over. She got big into self-medicating and would mix with drinks, which is never a good sign. She gets in a car accident and then another, which sent her to court-ordered rehab. She had the idea to commit suicide the night before rehab, but she called her friend on a promise, which is Lexi, and she helped her get to rehab. She continued with her meds, but would gain weight, which caused her self-image issues. She says beauty and thinness is currency. She would read the awful comments online and would laugh on the outside, but it obviously caused her mental anguish. And guys, let's be better. It's like we always do jokes and stuff here, but when you're doing it like to harass somebody, it's something totally different. Like you're trying to get to that person, and you're basically causing all these issues that you don't even realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, in general, what I'm trying to say, people suck. That's my message. She had a thyroid issue as well, which caused her meds to not to help, and then COVID hit, which caused even more isolation for her. She felt she had nobody, but was told she had so many people that cared about her. Her father says they always had plans to get her out of the situation she was in, and she had a new apartment, a new job, and was going back to school. Everything seemed fine until.
This is where it gets. This is where it happens. This is where it gets like really like. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like this is when I started like tearing up. This next
Yep.
part is when
Yep.
I was like, oh fuck, man.
Right. I'm like, damn, where's all the there's no happiness in this one. Yep.
See, we're gonna do that now. Now you're just coming up with different podcast ideas. The rosters podcast, where we talk about everybody who's got a long roster. I'll have to do research for that one.
Yeah, I was about to say we got to get we got fact check first. We're not giving out fake news.
See, I forgot another one. Tracy Brooks. Goddamn.
No, I think you didn't say Tracy. I could have sworn you said Tracy.
No, I didn't say Tracy Brooks. But yeah, Mr. Towns is absolutely right. It sucks. All this, like, you know, going through bipolar disorder and then being in the limelight where you have fans and then you have the haters as well. Because it's like when you're in the limelight, if you're a wrestler, if you're an actor, a rapper, a celebrity of any kind, you're gonna have as much portion of the people that are fans of you, and you're gonna have another portion of people that are haters of you, which is for a litany of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And not always good ones.
Yep. That's it.
Goku says medication, depression, and bipolar disorder, that's rough. Yeah. It's compounding everything, and it leads up to the next part we're going to talk about here.
Mm-hmm.
Parjai Finisher says it was hard to watch her talk about others criticizing her and her trying to laugh through it. Yeah, you could tell it was one of those situations with the interview, the late interview that she did. I think that was in 2021, where she was like laughing, but you could tell she was laughing so she wouldn't cry.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that leads to September 1st, 2021. Shannon goes live on Instagram. Taylor says that she was not familiar with IG Live and just saw the bubble, and Shannon was live. She was talking her suicide note, basically, which is like, what?
Crazy. Like, y'all watch this
and I can imagine like all your friends watching it and trying to like get through to you and put messages in the chat and trying to call you, text you like desperate, like, and then like I can imagine our family, like when we got to talk to our family, and they're in a whole different state or city, and they have to like be like, we have to go down to Atlanta. Like, that is so
right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, that type of feeling.
And it's like, how, like, what if, you know, people like at the time, like her brother could have been at work or whatever. He's like, yeah, I gotta go get I got to go to my sister. My sister needs me. Like, I cannot be here right now because I have to go make sure that she's okay. Like, the pressure and like I'm sure they feel some type of like guilt for her brother, her parents to like feel this, like, because they had to get to her and run to her. And her dad said he spoke to her that day.
So it's revealed that she had stolen her roommate's gun. And she just kept telling people to take her brain to Boston. Taylor says that she was a firefighter for 10 years and dealt with people in crisis. And Shannon was in crisis. Her brother saw 10 to 20 seconds of it and knew he needed to take his dad and get to Atlanta.
Yep.
Lexi's phone was blowing up and she logged on, and Shannon apologized to her as soon as she saw her in the chat and told her she was going to break her promise to her. She called the police in Atlanta. Mick Foley, Crowbar, Caleb Conley, Taylor, and many others all tried to call her, and they all start breaking down when they're towing back to it. That was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, yep. That's when it
tearing
happened.
Up. Yep, I was tearing up at this point. I was like, Caleb is the one. Caleb, he just broke down. Like, he could not even get through the whole reenactment and recounting of this night. She would not answer her phone, and it went black, the IG Live. Taylor says her brain would not allow her to process what just happened. Her brother, mother, and father get there, but nobody answers the door. The authorities break the door down, and the news is not good. The family was told that she was gone. Her mom and dad nearly collapsed, like wobbly knees. They do like the reenactment, and you see that. But were caught by their son and a fireman. Her dad feels he could have talked her out of it if he had the chance, but he didn't get the chance. Lexi says
And he
that
don't even know if that's
suicide.
gonna be true. If like, you know,
You can never
you'll
know.
never know.
You can never know.
Because she probably already, like her mind, like she was probably just so far in, her mind was probably already made up, and just like she probably did it so that they wouldn't try to stop her.
Yeah.
Because she would still probably have those feelings of like those like things that were coming to her head. So that's when the brother and the dad really like choked me up, man.
Lexi says that suicide is not the answer, as it leaves a hole that can't be filled. She was mad as she took Aunt Shan away from her daughter. Oh, this is rough, man. I'll remember, like, I remember the Bruiser Brody one, but like, Bruiser Brody, that's decades after it happened. Like,
correct,
this is just
exactly
4 years after. It's still a fresh wound. It's still a fresh wound. It's like clear as day in their memory. Like, it just happened, basically. Like 20, like we were talking about how these days go by so fast, but like something that happened in 2021, I can probably remember it vividly, especially if it's someone that I loved or cared about that I lost in this way. A suicide note live on IG. We see a picture with the little girl, and yeah, I had tears in my eyes by this point. Caleb is bawling at this point, talking about Shannon. Crowbar calls her an incredible friend, and he wishes she was still here now. Mick says that it was difficult for Shannon to know how loved she was. He encourages everyone to reach out to their friends, as that is what they are here for.
Yep. Yeah, that part, like, I was all choked up a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially when the dad was like, if he could have just like, he spoke to her earlier that day, and he was like, if I got there earlier, maybe I would have stopped her or like let her know, like I would be so sad without her even being here. I'm like, oh my God, like, do you hear him say that? I was like, oh, where's my tissues?
Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't show the IG live. You didn't need to. That would have been in bad taste, but like at least you got to hear the re-encountering from the people that loved her and their reaction to it. That was enough. That was enough for me. I don't want to see that.
And all of them just giving their perspective of like how they, saw the IG. And she didn't do it on IG. She was just saying that she was going to do it, correct?
No, she didn't do it on the IG, but she basically was like reading or like telling her own suicide note and what she planned to do, and telling people to basically take her brain to Boston.
Yep.
The family shows off pictures of Shannon as a little girl. Her brain was in fact donated to the University of Boston for research. Her brain was the first female in the study, so that's groundbreaking. CTE was found, but that couldn't say how much.
Right.
Shannon wanted people to learn more about CTE and what the wrestling business can do to someone. Her dad says that Shannon wanted to get better and fought the good fight. Shannon started doing charity work with NAMI, and Lexi still gives support because Shannon would have wanted it. She was open about her disorder and would be happy people are still talking about it and not hiding it. And then Mick says the best way to kind of describe, or the one match that really shows the type of person and the type of wrestler that she was her matchup with Vicky Lyons. He tells the story about how he watched Forensic Files one night after her passing. And the episode was about a girl named Vicky Lyons who was run over in a parking lot. It touched his heart, so he Googled her, and the first thing that came up was Vicky Lyons having a wrestling match against Daffney.
It's crazy.
He was shocked and thought that there was no way. Vicky wanted to be a wrestler, and Daffney saw it and taught her enough and carried Vicky in a match at an indie show in Utah. Daffney put Vicky over in the matchup and didn't even tell her she was going to put her over in the end. Basically did it as a surprise. And Mick says in that one match, he sees everything good and right in pro wrestling. It showed who she was as a person and the heart that she had. Oh my God, that's just.
I was like, just keep laying it on us, guys. It's just like,
come on.
It's just the water, like just like boo-hooing, like I'm watching a whole like romantic novel or something. Like I'm like just a crying and a crying. I'm just sad. I'm like, gosh, you're really just giving it really to us. Okay, great. You're really selling.
Taylor says that Daffney taught female wrestlers how to be sisters and look after each other. Crowbar says he and David were the wrestlers of that crew, but Daffney was the star everyone still remembers. Caleb is still in tears at this point as he says Shannon always let him know she was paying attention to him. Taylor says that Daffney is always watching and influenced women's wrestling to this day. We love you and we miss you, and I hope you are proud of all of us. Oh, man. And then her father says that her father loves her and misses her. Her brother breaks down at this point, and he hopes he did a good job for her and did what she wanted. I miss you. I miss you a whole lot.
Oh my God, the brother, that brother. Ugh. Sending prayers to that man, because I was like, I don't even know if he even rewatched the episode, but I mean, he gave his soul in that like he gave his heart and soul in that episode, just like talking about his sister, and just showed you like when he like would speak, he was smiling, just like like he missed his best friend.
Yeah, that was his best friend since the day she was born, basically.
And you'd be like, I used to be have a sibling. I'm alone now. You know what I'm saying? That's so sad.
That is very sad. And the episode did end with if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, there is help available. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you or your loved ones. Call 988 and via online it's at 988lifeline.org. So seriously, we say this all the time when stuff like this happens. We always say there's people out there that's there for support, and even us, we have social medias. If you need someone to talk to and you just want to have a listening ear, we are always there if you want to just talk to someone that you see on your YouTube screens and you could just confide in. There's always someone out there to talk to. Don't ever let those feelings linger and let your thoughts drive you to that point where you think that that's your only solution. That's not a solution, guys. It's
not a solution. Just think, you might be having a bad day, but someone else is having a more worse day than you would just think. Just the little things we gotta not try to sweat them. It's easier said than done, but yeah, talk to someone. Try to just think okay, I'm having a bad day. This will too shall pass, but someone's probably having an even worse day than me.
Got a couple of comments to highlight here. Goku says, with the Vicky Lyons matchup, Daffney went, "That's gonna work for me, sister." Indeed. She told her, "You're going over in this one, sister." Wrestling God says, "Wow, she put that woman over. She is such a sweetheart, man. God bless her. R.I.P. to Daffney." And Goku adds, "This episode was an emotional journey. 10 out of 10. One of the best episodes of Dark Side of the Ring. Cannot stress that enough. This is one of the best episodes."
I'm about to say this is in a long time. I think this is one of the best for the season. Like we've had some.
This is the best of the season. There's no question. This may be one of the best ever. So it's definitely the best of the season. I didn't say that about any other episode in this season. This is the benchmark for this season of Dark Side of the Ring by far.
I agree. It's no words. It's speeches. This is what Dark Side of the Ring is all about. This is what it shows. This is what has been given. And I think out of all the seasons, this was season 6. I think this is one of the best episodes that they have done.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. Yeah. This told the story of Daffney for her career. It told the story about her life. It told what the downside of working in professional wrestling is, the joy that professional wrestling was able to provide her, and the kind of the consequences of that joy and that love that she had for professional wrestling, and just the emotion and how these people told her story. Man, this is a perfect or near perfect episode of Dark Side of the Ring. This is what Dark Side of the Ring should be about.
It is. Yep.
I think it's easy, but let us know in the chat whether you gave this episode thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give this episode? Your MVP and LVP. For me and Krssi, I think this is an easy one. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. For me, I got to give it to 10 out of 10.
10 out of
10 episode.
10 out of 10. MVP is definitely going to be the family, the brother, the dad.
I got to give it to Daffney. Daffney's the MVP of this episode.
Daffney. Oh, that's fair. I like that one too. Give it to Daffney. R.I.P. Daffney. LVP.
And I agree with Goku. LVP would be TNA.
Yeah. Yep. And NW and Vince for not, picking her up.
I think we give Vince already. We already give Vince enough LVPs. He wasn't really a part of this story, so it's got to be TNA. It's got to be
TNA for definitely not even like paying for her medical bills. Like that's trash, yo. Like what? And she said, she's like, how I'm wrestling for you. I work for you. I get hurt and you can't even pay my bills. Like, yeah, LVP. Fuck you.
TNA gonna TNA. We always say it, right? That's our catchphrase whenever we talk about TNA, and we'll talk about that tomorrow on the flagship. TNA being TNA, having WWE talent win their titles, but this is much worse.
I saw that. I was like, I didn't watch what was it? Stand and Deliver? No, what episode was it?
Battleground.
That one. I didn't watch it, but I seen that almost same one. I was like, how we doing that, son? I was like, y'all, the contract is not even that young. At old. And we already taking belts and whatnot. Okay, sure.
Yeah. TNA gonna TNA. It's been going on for now nearly 25 years. TNA gonna TNA. But yeah, seems like everybody agrees with it. Goku gives MVP Daffney, LVP TNA. Power Driver Finisher says MVP Daffney, struggled through with it the whole time, and he gives LVP to TNA. Goku says F Vince, but he wasn't even there. For once, it's not WWE fault. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, go. Yeah, you're right. Fine, I won't. I just try to blame him.
It's always a good reason. There's always a good reason to shit on WWE. Don't worry.
Yeah, they would have had Nikki Cross before Nikki Cross if they had her. If they had Daffney. Just saying.
Sure.
But what do I know?
They wasn't looking for that at that time, but they should have. They should have.
Because you didn't have that on your roster at all. You had only just like girls that all looked alike and just dainty stuff and just do these things or whatever. So, that's, they didn't really start really fighting until like 20.
2014, 15 is when the NXT rise happened. So then, but on the main roster, it's not until like 2016, 2017. And then even then, really like 2018 is when you get Evolution and the first Women's Royal Rumble and stuff like that. So.
Right.
Slow and
steady. But yes.
But yes, we've made it to the end of our Dark Side of the Ring Season 6, Episode 9 review. I want to thank you all for joining us live. You guys are always great in the comment section, being a part of the conversation, giving your thoughts on this episode. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up, like this video, of course, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends and family, and of course, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, because we reviewed every episode of Dark Side of the Ring Season 6 and beyond, and we got one more episode to review. We will figure out when we're going to do it, but we will be back for the final episode of Season 6. Already got the thumbnail ready. Becoming Muhammad Hassan, episode 10. Oh, you don't know? Oh yeah, you stopped. You explained earlier. You stopped watching around 2004, 2005. So you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn on this one. Muhammad Hassan. Oh man, he is one of the biggest what ifs in wrestling and the wrestling modern era of the past 20, 25 years. He's one of the biggest what ifs that would have happened.
What? Okay,
Yes.
I'm excited to watch this episode now. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. So join us back so you have my reactions. You'll see what I learned. Okay? Come back.
But yes, we will be back to review that if you like our Dark Side of the Ring reviews. And of course, Miss Krssi Love, thank you as always for joining me. Please let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they will see you again.
You can follow me, Krssi Love _1, True Hill Krssi Love on X, and then it's just my plain old name. We'll be back here tomorrow on our flagship show at 10 a.m. So join us back here. We've been going live an hour earlier, so we thank you for coming and joining us for that. Other than that, SP and I will be doing our Yellow Jackets review soon. So join us back there. I guess it's on another channel. But yep, other than that, that's where I am. Hit me up if you want to get married. I just did another wedding in AC last weekend. So yep, I'm here.
There you go. Yes, we are going to go live. I guess if you're free now, we could just go live immediately on the other channel. Yes, I'll share the link for y'all in the chat so y'all can join us over there. If you don't watch Yellow Jackets, that is fine. We're gonna tell you all about it, and maybe it would inspire you to watch Yellow Jackets because I already have it in my tabs here. We're doing a character tier list. We're doing a character tier list.
Okay.
Character tier list.
I was wondering what you wanted to do. Because this is what, season 2, or was this 3? No, this was 3.
This was season 3. This was
season 3. Okay, so we're gonna do a character. This is perfect because I already Go ahead.
She's hyped now. She's hyped, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, join us live for that. We're going live in about 2-3 minutes, so join us for that. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. You can follow the gang Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. But check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like AE Ramble episode 200, a timeless meeting reviewing this week's AEW Dynamite, the post Double or Nothing show. Check out our Double or Nothing review as well. We also had Rated Raw review episode 69. Nice. Control Power. Control Power Domination. And check out our WWE NXT Battleground review where I broke down the latest premium live event from NXT. But check out all of that. Join us over on the second channel, True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, for our Yellow Jackets season 3 review going live in about 2 minutes. Before Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Dark Side of the Ring, Season 6, Episode 9, The Scream Queen, Daffney review. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.